What's going on, MSFers? Duelim here, back here with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Cosmic Crucible Season number 12 rules and the defense that I'm going to be running. So first up, we got the global rules, joint operation on defense and offense, a future team on assist gain safeguard. So this team's going to be kind of nuts with some striker skirmisher combos, kind of like maybe an Infinity Watch. We're going to talk about where I think this room is going to be this team is going to be really good once we get to it. On defense, all characters gain 20% max health and 10% damage. After each completed attack, gain 1 exhausted. Cancel combats do not gain exhausted. So the same global rules as normal here. So for stage number 1, we've got on defense and offense, Raider and Skirmisher characters do 200% more damage when under 50% health. So if we hop in game here, you see we're going to be using good old Annihilators, Mephisto, and Super Scroll. We're going to be using Super Scroll here as a Raider, Mephisto as a Raider as well to benefit from the room rules here. And they are going to be hitting like trucks. The big thing here is going to be the Thanos as well. So Thanos, remember, when he drops below 50% health, he's going to be doing his passive, which hits twice, I believe, does a bunch of piercing damage and heals him back up. But he's going to be hitting when he's under 50% health. So he's going to be hitting very, very, very hard. So remember, 200% extra damage is essentially triple damage, because 100% is double, 200% would be triple damage. So he's going to be absolutely deleting people. Same thing with Super Scroll. If you can't get through him and he ends up ulting, that's going to be really, really, really problematic. So I think that could be really interesting. I think this is going to be the team a lot of people are going to be running in here. Next up, stage number 2, what you wish for on offense and defense. All characters, when using an ultimate ability, generate 1 ability energy for each enemy. And this is going to be the room rule that I actually had after winning season 1 of the Cosmic Crucible tournament. So this was going to be the one that I had, and what I feel like is going to be really, really good here is gonna be Astral with Dormammu. And the reason why is if you're using a bunch of ultimates to try to kill this team quickly or maybe get through them, you're giving ability energy to everybody here. So Dormammu could potentially ult turn 1 here instead of turn 2, giving that ability energy, and then he's gonna rebalance the fight. Strange is always getting a bunch of energy, and if he ults, he's reviving, obviously. Moondragon does a massive AoE and heals a bunch as well. We're going to move Moondragon to a Raider here. And I really think Emma is going to be the worst on this team, in my opinion, especially because on defense, her passive still does not work. If her passive does start working, I would say probably drop Ancient One, because they're not getting the energy from the Raider crits. But as of right now, Dormammu is going to be your best bet as a 5th here for a lot of reasons. The revives are always good. If he's ulting turn 1, that could be pretty nutty. Also, we're going to get red stars on Shadow King pretty soon because we have the leaderboard payout, so that's going to be really nice. So Shadow King's going to be that much tankier. So I really think Astral in Room 2 is going to be extremely, extremely good. Next up, when it rains on offense and defense, when a positive effect is applied to a character, increase the duration of all positive effects on allies of that character by 1. So we've had this room before, and it does the exact same thing for negative effects as well. So for this room, I think this is going to be a pretty good room for Orcus, actually. You see, you have Orcus Cable here to mess with some speed a little bit for if Night Stalkers come in here. I think Orcus is going to be really good because Scientist Supreme's ult puts a bunch of negative effects on the enemy turn 1, and then also puts a bunch of positive effects on their allies turn 1 as well. So it's kind of a double hitter. So you're putting that speed up, that defense up, that offense up. You're putting defense down, offense down, and slow on the enemy, and that's going to get exacerbated by the room rules as well. Now going back to the future team here where it says on assist gain safeguard, I think whatever this team is gonna be is going to be best in this room, because they're gonna get the safeguard on assist, and then the room rule is gonna give them another safeguard. So they're gonna have safeguard forever. And then the thing is too, even if you bring in like APOC or Ares to stop the safeguard on spawn, if they get safeguard on spawn, they're just going to assist and then get that safeguard back. So the Ares and APOC really don't do anything there. So I think that team is going to be really, really good in stage 3. It's obviously going to depend on what else they do to kind of assist with the room rules. If they're putting a bunch of positive effects on their team or a bunch of negative effects, it really depends. But as of right now, I think Orcus is going to be your best bet because of that Scientist Supreme ult turn 1, doing a lot of work and extending those buffs and those negative effects that you're putting on the enemy. Next up, stage number 4, we've got Temporal Shielding, and I think this one's going to be kind of basic. So bio and tech characters on basic gain speed up. With speed up at the end of turn, bury yourself for 20% of that character's max health. So I don't think this room is really going to turn into much. I think the problem is this room is going to turn into this because the room rules just don't matter. So I have a feeling this is going to be the main defense you're going to see in here. Now, obviously, you could take out Black Bolt and put in Black Knight to make this room even more of a nightmare. You can also even take out Odin and use Doctor Strange here instead. And then if you don't want to use Doctor Strange with Astral, you could absolutely use Emma Frost there. So that you can use Doctor Strange here instead, which is a really, really good defense. But with these room rules, so it's going to be bio and tech characters. So the bio character here is, or the tech character here is going to be Hank Pym. So Hank Pym's going to be doing, getting that speed up and that extra barrier when he basics, which is really, really nice. Bio character in Black Bolt here. So 2 people can use it, but I honestly think this room rule won't matter much. So I really don't think it's going to be worth trying to play around because I just don't think it's going to be impactful enough, unfortunately. So getting back into the room rules for room number 5, duck and weave on defense and offense. City characters, they will on dodge gain offense up, and then on successful hit, they will gain defense up. So if they're dodging, they're going to be gaining offense up, and then every time they hit somebody and do damage or take a turn and it hits, I'm assuming if the enemy dodges, they won't gain the defense up, but as long as they get that hit, they will gain defense up. And my best thought for this one is going to be Secret Defenders, because a lot of them are City. I'm almost positive. We have Noir here as City, Black Cat City, Robbie City. I think Photon and Hardlight are not, but who cares? I think they're Cosmic, if I'm not mistaken. But Noir is going to go super quickly, get that defense up right away, and a lot of us have a really big Spider-Man Noir because we built them for Spider Society. Black Cat is always going to be a really good character, taking those revives off turn 1. A trauma stun, or with the passive, a trauma stun turn 1, taking out those positive effects and removing charge with her ultimate. Robbie's always a nuisance, especially with a Noir, because Noir is going to get bleeds out there really quickly and give Robbie a bunch of turn meter. Now, I know new Warriors can beat this, but there is RNG to it. So this is still a good room that can definitely catch people off guard, especially if you have some bigger characters here. Unfortunately, if we look at the city tag, we'll look at it here. The city tag does not have much to choose from other than Moon Knight. You could put like Night Stalkers in here, Moon Knight, Blade, and Oath. You could put them in here, and because Agatha is global and Man-Thing I think is, I'm not sure what Man-Thing is. Man-Thing might be global as well, but I don't know if Night Stalkers are going to be good to have in here. They could be a great secondary, but I've really liked Night Stalkers on offense because they are absolutely deleting Orcus on defense, which I really, really like having them for. The other big option would be Spider Society here, because obviously they spawn with speed up. They've got a bunch of dodges. They're going to be hitting super fast, so they're going to have defense up. But the problem is we have a lot of counters to this team, especially when they're not in the raid room with Secret Defenders and Eternals, Secret Defenders CGR. We've got a lot of options to take that team out. And then you could potentially use Superior 6 in here, but Superior 6 is such a great offensive tool, especially when you're going against Illuminatis on defense. Plus, they don't do anything with dodge, so I don't think they would be worth having in here at all. So I really do think this is going to be kind of a throwaway room, not the best. So I have a feeling it's going to turn into a blank room, but using the room rules, I think SD will still be pretty good to have in here and see what they do for you. And then last up, stage number 6, we've got Symbiote Satisfaction on defense and offense. Hero Symbiote characters count as villains. and then drops to 50% health. All enemies flip negative effects to positive, and all allies flip their positive effects to negative effects. So what I'm going to be running in here is going to be kind of a standard room, honestly, with BK Hive Mind. And I think there could be other things that you could use in here to bolster this, but I think it's going to be pretty interesting because Void Knight is going to count as a villain. So you hear my wife sneezing in the background, sorry. And then you could potentially use Void Knight on offense here with Cabal, because if we have Cabal here, they work off of getting crits from villains getting crits, right? Well, Void Knight in this room is going to count as a villain. So you could potentially have some Cabal and Void Knight pair-ups here on offense, or maybe even on defense if you want to go super, super defense heavy and maybe throw Cabal on defense and be an absolute madman. I don't recommend that at all. You could do that. But I think Hive Mind might be an okay choice in here. Unfortunately, there's really not many symbiote characters to use with this room. I think that could be a result of not having Null during this season, and maybe that was the original intent for this. I know this room was voted on, but I think it could be interesting if we did have Null for this. But with Battle World leaving us, we're not sure when we're going to be getting Null. We don't have that time frame anymore. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what works in this room. I have a feeling there's going to be some kind of hybrid team with just Void Knight in here because Void Knight's the best of the Hive Mind members. But I'm going to try just this with Black Knight because Black Knight's always super, super scary. And that's going to be my defense for season number 12. I really, really think this is going to be a pretty interesting season. I'm hoping this is not as kind of lackluster as it was for season 11, because I think we figured things out pretty quickly and a lot of people have been keeping the same defense. So I'm hoping to see a lot of amazing new defenses here and a lot of theory crafting outside of what I am using. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. I am mainly Cosmic Crucible on this channel. I post all my attacks. I do a big review at the end of the week, and then I update my defense and I share it with everybody. Also, what I do is I am the person who does the counter everything videos. So I do set up pretty much one giant video that shows the most popular defenses and how you can beat them with multiple different options. So if you're interested in that, drop a subscription down below and I will be putting that one out usually a week after the season starts, depending on life, of course. But that is going to be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, MSFers.